who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Are growing out, and the only way the roots grow out every single day and they grow stronger and they grow better is if that we all water.
What? I'm out, man.
Hey, what's up? It is Monday, which means it is another edition of Chip and Drip here on the AAT Sports Network. AAT Birds, hanging out with my buddy JD at at the D2N Podcast LLC. What is wrong with us?
Head trauma. Severe
head trauma. Yo, facts. Adam already is saying great show. Like, that's how excited he is about tonight. He's already saying great show. And I agree, because it is going to be a good show. JD, what has happened in the last week? Anything of any excitements?
I've just secured some tickets to the first Clemson football game of the year.
Okay.
At the Georgia Dome. So yeah, kickoff is gonna be the Georgia Tech versus Clemson kickoff game. What's popping? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. You see, I got my vintage Clemson hat on. I get with the brown. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. What's going on with you, Big Chip?
Nothing. Did the umpire thing over the weekend, doing the camp thing during the day, slowly wrapping my mind about going back to school, slowly. And
when do you guys go back?
Sometime in August.
So we go back August 15th.
I go back the 22nd, and then the kids come back the 30th.
Oh yeah, so I go back on the 15th. Well, technically I go back on the 7th, but you know how that go.
I mean,
summer's over for the grown-ups.
Yes. So we got a really cool show tonight. We got a couple of things. JD knows like 25% of the topics I'm going to throw his way. Because I'm like, do you want me to surprise you, or do you want to know what's going on? He's like, tell me some of it. So I literally took a screenshot of my note and I chopped half of it off. Like literally like mid-bar of a line, I chopped half off and I went, here.
So question, because before we jump into this, when is the wheel coming back? Because people have been asking me about this damn wheel.
We're going to bring the wheel back. I don't know why I really stopped it. I just didn't make a wheel this week or last week, and then we took some weeks off before that. So it was kind of just an inadvertent stop. But I really do feel that the wheel will come back when there's more than just baseball and training camp.
Listen, but there's a lot of stuff going on in training camp, though. Like, it's a big week.
Facts.
It's a big week because we're going to get to see a lot of these guys. We're going to get to see a lot of these guys for the first time. Like, so I'm in a weird spot because where I am, I'm in South Carolina. The Panthers.
That is a weird spot. There was more. Sorry.
Yeah, the Panthers practice in Spartanburg, which is like 5 minutes from my house. They practice at Walford. So they're only like right down the street from my house. So normally that's like a big rush. So tomorrow when they start training camp for the Carolina Panthers, there will be a supreme rush down to Spartanburg. And I am not a Panthers fan whatsoever. But I don't
think anyone's a Panthers fan.
No, we have people like, CJ, our guy, Tap is a Panthers fan. But a lot of people that are Panthers fans are from the North Carolina, South Carolina border and weren't young enough to already have a team or old enough to already have a team. So in my case, that's how I became a Steelers fan, because there was no team when I was growing up. So my dad was a Steelers fan. So I am a Steelers fan, and my mom is from the Pittsburgh area.
But you're still in South Carolina right now, so that's
still a Pittsburgh fan. Period.
Real quick, let's do the things real quick. We got a lot of really great sponsors that I wanted to shout out. That way I don't forget to do it. Statement Games, fun free twist on fantasy sports. Make sure you are checking out thems. Of course, we have the AATSportsNetwork.com/shop with all of our designs. Make sure you are checking that out. Symbol.com, stock market for sports. Code is AAT Sports when you sign up. We got Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. We also have stuff to the grills, both in the Iroquois, off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. So make sure you are checking those places out when you are up in the Allentown area. And I want to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube page. because once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are giving away a signed B-Dog poster. And I know that Twitter doesn't allow comments still. It's been like 2 years. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So make sure that you are doing the thing, subscribing. Another thing that we got to plug is we are back to being sponsored by Manscaped, at least for the time being. So it's summer. It's hot. There's probably some chafage and some sweatage. So I know they have some ball deodorant. So make sure you're liking that AAT Birds when you sign up and get your Manscaped stuff. Your balls will thank you.
Damn. I was kind of wishing they never came back just because of that.
I think it's like a month-to-month thing now, and it is what it is. However, I'm going to blind both of us for a second because we got a really cool thing happening that we just released today news-wise. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to be hanging out with Hollis Thomas at a live Eagles post-game event. And Hollis appreciated what we did so much that he threw our name out there a little bit. And we are now being added on to the ultimate bus trip to FedEx Field. Subtitle, we're coming for you, Carson. So the first time that the Eagles play the Commanders on September 25th, us, the Phillies sports guy, Bell and the Birdmen, Bird Gang, E-Rock, 4th and John, 97.5, Philly Sports Trips, we all are going to be going down to FedEx Field, and you can too. I'm going to put the link on all of the things. Okay, I'm going to put it on right now. Hang on. That way you have it. You can sign up. You don't have to pay the full deposit now, but you get travel, food, beverage, tickets. When we roll into places, Philly fans roll hard. So make sure that you are signing up for this. And that's all I have to say about that. And JD is really upset because now that he's in South Carolina, we now organize this. Yeah.
You know what? First of all, I know you guys did this, and I've been kind of quiet about it. I haven't really wanted to bring a whole lot of steam and a whole lot of. But no, listen, there's a lot of stuff been going on behind the scenes since I ain't been around, and you know what? I'm starting to get kind of pissed off about it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's pretty crappy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's okay because I'm going to plan a trip down to South Carolina and hang out with you.
Okay, facts. So, as a resident Steagles fan, I feel like it's only right.
Sure.
Steagles, yeah, make sure that I let that be known. I'm a Steagles fan. So, I figured that one game this year, I'm going to wear a yellow Jordan 1 with a green Jordan 1. So, that way I can show and I'm going to wear the Nelson jersey because he played for both teams. So, I'm going to cut it in half.
So, he doesn't play for us anymore.
Bro, he's still it's a throwback, bro. Like, it is what it is.
It was a throwback when the dude was still on the team. That dude sucked.
Dude, I mean,
0 stars, did not recommend.
They can't Uber not star him though. It's messed up, man.
Shout out to the people tuning in because we got a cool show for you guys tonight. So again, shout out to Adam Edwards checking in. What's good? Adam, of course, we're going to do the Ump-Dates stories over the weekend. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Potter, one of my campers, tuning in because Captain Carl gave him the link.
What's this? Go back to Edward's comment.
Edward's comment. What's good, guys?
Okay. First of all, Edward, love your emoji, love your emoticon. It's very inclusive. Shout out to all the inclusives. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm down for everybody. Squad. That's why I'm wearing the brown because I'm down with the brown.
Shout out to Max, who is a co-worker at camp with me, and we all know Potter, so we're just having fun with Potter today.
Okay.
Potter obviously discovered that he can comment, so we're rocking and rolling. Potter. It's Potter.
Harry, Potter.
And I know that Adam's going to be joining us on the trip to Carsonville to talk crap on the former QB.
Let's do it.
So with that being said, let's get into some
show.
Yes.
I'm going to call in. I'm letting you know.
Yes. Let's start with your favorite topic, baseball.
Oh, God. Why are we starting with that?
Because that way we can get part of it out of the way. Because I know that's, it, but it's not like it's like me with hockey. I'm like, it's a sport. Oh.
And I'm right now, I'm going through like a real bad time because my son loves baseball. Like my oldest son absolutely loves playing baseball. And I have like no real like skin in the game, but now I guess I gotta get back into it.
I'm here for you.
I hear you.
I will teach you. I will teach you all the rules. I will teach you all the rules.
Oh, so I can go out there and kick dust on some referee that he said does it wrong. It's like,
no, because the umpires don't know the rules. That's the best part. That's the best part. The umpires don't know the rules. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question because, and you kind of did a great segue there because you're talking about how your kid is into baseball. Your kid plays baseball. I ump a lot of baseball. We know every tournament, every game, everything with youth sports, with the Little League World Series that they play out in Williamsport. They all have a mercy rule. Okay?
Yes.
All right. This weekend, the Phillies got absolutely whacktified by the Chicago Cubs, who are 20 games under 500. So the Phillies that are supposed to be this playoff team got whacktified by the Cubs, who are 20 games under 500, by a score of 15-2.
Okay.
And that's still not the worst game of the weekend, where the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox 28-5.
Seen that.
Here's my question for you, and I don't care which side you take on it. I'm curious to know your thoughts.
Okay.
Should there be a mercy rule in professional sports? I'm not even saying baseball, in professional sports.
Well, that's a trick question because different sports entail, like there's some sports you can score a lot of points in a little bit of time. So it makes the mercy rule. Like for basketball, you can watch an NBA game and they'll be down 20. You turn back on the TV, they're up 5. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a game of runs. But a game like baseball, unless they just gonna have like, unless there's like a total letdown, 15, really 10 run lead on somebody is a lot. Like that's not a small margin. So that I can see that as well. In football, maybe 3 tutties. Like, you know, when you play on the sticks, like you play video games, 3 tutties is you got to get up the sticks. That's a skunk. So you got to get up the sticks. So I think it should maybe be 3-4 touchdowns is probably the same. I mean, I'm not down to watch dudes get beat down. Like, I mean, it's not fun for the fan either. Like, even if you're the other team, like one year as a Clemson fan, we will beat Alabama really bad in the national championship. That's not fun for anybody. Like, you want to see good games. I was glad that my boys won, but at the same time, I want to see a good game. So I don't know. 3-4 touchdowns is a lot, man.
So Max is saying no, they're adults, and I'm gonna kind of lean into that argument in a second because it's more than that. The reason why, no matter what we say here tonight, there will never be mercy rules in professional sports, even if I'm about to drop some logic on it. And yes, the Eagles did come back from 3 touchdowns, once maybe twice.
It depends also when the 3 touchdowns will happen too. It depends. Like
that's what I'm going to say.
You know, first half, you can't call it.
Like when I did my tournaments this weekend, it was 10. So they play 6 innings, and it was 10 runs after 4. So if after 4 innings you're down 10 runs, shut it down.
Facts.
If it's, or it was like 8 after 5. So it's like you're at that point you're not coming back. Now, football, if you wanted to do it, you could do it like, you know, down 3 touchdowns after, or down 4 touchdowns or 30 points. We'll just say a nice round number. Down 30 points at the end of the 3rd quarter.
What was Tom Brady down in the Super Bowl?
28-3. But he started chipping away at that in the 3rd quarter.
So you think at the end of the 3rd, if you don't make any progress to call it?
If you are down by 30 points in football at the end of the 3rd quarter, shut it. Because that's when sloppy play starts. That's when these guys who don't play at all get in. That's when injuries happen. And baseball specifically, and this is why I'm asking this question, right? 28-5 is absurd.
Yeah. Like, that means
28-5 is absurd. And that's where you gave up an inside the park grand slam that day. And that's where you start to see position players going into pitch. So it's not even good baseball. You're just surviving the game. I think if you're down 15 runs after 7, you can shut it.
You mailing it in anyway.
Correct. But here's why. And again, Max, I love the comments. I know you're listening at work and, you got the earpiece on and you're sneaking. I love it. Yes, points scored in any sport can be a tiebreaker. Absolutely. So what you can do, like at this tournament, they said the run differential, right? So even if you won by 13 runs, the biggest run differential that you would allow in the tournament is 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Was 6. And if you do that across the board, then plus minus, it actually tightens things up.
Well, okay, so let's do this. Humor me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm the local basketball, football guy. I love talking these two sports. So I'm gonna bring it back to football, even though we're talking about baseball in this particular.
No, you're good.
So when you look at baseball and it's more of a sport that's more methodical anyway. It's a little slower. It's those you kind of have to stop that game because fans are already kind of going to sleep. If nothing's really happening, it's one-sided. It's not really fun to be there. Now, basketball, like you said, basketball and football, there's more of a chance that they can come back. Those fans are kind of on the edge of their seats. And now the more and more you see in professional sports in the NBA, you'll start seeing fans start leaving at the end of the third. You'll start seeing them.
What if you're down 50 after 3 in basketball?
I mean, at that point, it's over with, bro. Let's just be real. We can call a spade at this point. Basketball is a sport that you can score a bunch of points in a little bit of time, but 50 points is really out of question. Unless something. And
that's what I'm talking about. These games that are out of the question. Yeah. No, they don't, Max. They do not get fined if they keep running up the score. They absolutely do not. And that's going to kind of lead to my point where doesn't matter what we say here tonight, there's never going to be a mercy rule in professional sports because of the almighty dollar. Right?
Well,
if you start shutting off a game, well, you know what? People aren't going to buy the merchandise. People aren't going to buy the alcohol. People aren't going to buy. They're not going to do these things.
They're not going to buy that shit anyway because they leave.
But after the 7th inning, they stop serving alcohol. After the 3rd quarter, they stop serving alcohol. They already stopped.
So check. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. So let's think about concessions. They've already made their money shortly off your concessions when you first walk in. I went to an Eagles game last year. I bought some cold fries that I thought were good. That I thought was gonna be good for Chicken and Pete's because it was 14 degrees outside. I mean, just a bad situation, but you're there to enjoy the experience. You're there. What is worse for the game is when players sit out intentionally. The load management, it's not the mercy rule. Mercy rule won't kill the NBA or the NFL or the MLB. What'll kill them is they have all this load management. Kawhi's played 3 games in the last 5 years, but yet he's still a perennial all-star apparently. So I'm just what is happening? They're cheating the fan. The fan that LeBron said it best. Kobe and LeBron said it best. They said they don't ever sit games out because that kid might have used his allowance money to get to see him play.
Correct.
So I mean, come on, man. You can't mail it in. You can't mail it in when you're a professional athlete. People spend their whole life trying to get close to these guys. And I'm not trying to be blasphemous, but just to touch the hem of the garment. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
Just to get close enough that they may get some sweat on them. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. This is a spectator sport. We're playing grown men are playing a little kid's game and making millions of dollars. Let's just be real.
But instead, you won't go by the rules that the little again, if you're down, I've watched World Series games for the Little League World Series and in the 4th inning because they got 10 run. You know what
Max
I mean?
is saying he thought that they used to. So I thought that was a thing too.
I think that they did used to. In college sports, they actually rewarded college football players for having a bigger point differential.
Right, because that's what when BCS
the BCS, right?
Yeah, they would get the plus minus. But that's what I'm saying. That's when guys really that's how you really kick a team. That's when I saw kids so y'all know I'm from South Carolina. So when I was young, there were some teams that were so good in football, they would just kick a mud hole in the team. When you do people like that and kick them when they're down like that, they're liable to fight. So there's liable to be violence because of the demoralization that's being done to these kids.
Right. If you're playing a professional football game, right, and you're up by 30 points after the 3rd quarter, the backups are coming in, and I don't want to see Gardner Minshew when I paid my money to see Jalen Hurts. Gardner Minshew just is going to hand the ball off. He's not going to run the offense. He's going to run the preseason offense where he hands the ball off 30 times to whoever the 14th string running back is. It's not the same game.
Yeah, to run the
It's
clock
not the
out.
same game.
This is wild.
And
It's
28 to
wild.
5. And 28 to 5. And yeah, what if you're rooting for the team that's winning 28 to 5 and they shut the game down? Okay, you're saving
You go
like
home.
in tournament ball that I do. The reason why they shut it down is because you play a tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you have to load management your pitching. So you can either pitch 3 innings a game or 6 innings for a day because you're playing 2-3 games, or you can do 12 innings for the tournament. Some of these teams play for the mercy rule so that they can save up their pitching.
I have something.
Okay.
So they don't do a mercy rule in the NBA, but there is a running clock. I didn't
know this. Tell me.
Running clock. I'm looking at the rule now, but I don't know how legit it is. But they were saying that the clock will run after 40 points up. It will just run. It won't stop unless you call a timeout. It won't stop for dead balls. I don't know how true this is. I'm just getting it off of Google, so I'm not really sure. Is there a mercy rule in the NBA? Mercy rule: any team who has a player ejected from the game and does not have a sub player will forfeit the game. So that's one of the mercy rules. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like a legit mercy rule. But the other one says about 40 points and there will be a running clock. I know they do that in AAU. Like that's a big thing in AAU, is the running clock. But I'm not sure.
Right. And again, they do it in high school ball as well because again, it's a safety factor. It's a safety factor. And I get, I get that if a professional athlete is, I'm going to say, if a professional athlete can't handle getting smacked, they shouldn't be a professional athlete. I'm sorry, Max, I agree, but I'm not saying it for the athlete's mentality. I'm saying for the quality of what is still being portrayed. There was not. What was the big take? What was the big takeaway of the 28-5 game? Besides the fact the inside the park grand slam in the final score, the guy making the juice bar during the game.
Dude, do you remember a couple years ago when there was I'm a Clemson fan, but Clemson played Florida State at Florida State, and this thing went viral with the guy had took his shirt off and started reading a book at this game. He's a nose fan. Clemson was knocking their head off. He ended up going absolutely viral because he had his shirt off and he was reading a book. Like at that point in the game, man, it's cool like meme stuff, but for a sports purist, they don't want to see that. Everybody can sit here and say whatever they want to say. I get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I'm telling you now, if you're watching that game and your team's on the winning end or the losing end, it's no fun for anybody. We're just kicking this team's ass and we're just hanging out.
And well, first off, I think Phil and Mike both said the same thing here, right? Phil is saying there won't be mercy rules in sports because of sports betting. And Mike says, yeah, not in pro sports. Sports betting won't allow it. You guys are 100% correct on that. Yes, the sportsmanship of making the drinks was definitely that was just bad. Yeah, for sure.
But let's be real though. But
what else was he supposed to do?
They're winning. Like what is you? To the victor goes the spoils. If you don't want to be portrayed and messed around with and played with, don't get blowed out. Like, unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. Like we're saying about sports betting. But the crazy thing about sports betting is you will let these players play out any game, but you're suspending people still for sports betting. Like Ridley still suspended for sports betting. And it's actually legal. He didn't even play in those games. So what does it matter?
I mean, it's an interesting conversation, and I know like we have all the reasons. It's point blank. It's the almighty dollar that will not allow for professional athletes to put a mercy rule in place. Point blank. Period. It's the almighty dollar between concessions, between alcohol. Hold on, that's one of our topics. Chill yourself, Phil. Hang tight. Hang tight.
We don't. You're ahead of the game.
It's on our list. It's on our list.
I like this Phil, brother.
Phil is another one of my coworkers that can. This is like the Camp America squad deep in the comment section here.
Can I bring up something really quick?
Yes.
Have you guys seen the thing about the adult summer camp?
I mean, that's basically where I work.
No. Yeah. Have you heard of adult
There's just kids there.
No, have you heard of the adult summer camp?
I have, but share with the people.
Okay. So adult summer camp is basically when grown men like me and Chip, who are really children in the inside, get to go to summer camp. So you and your friends will pay money to go to summer camp. They provide you, and it's adult, so you get booze, food, all the same stuff you had at summer camp. A cabin, you get your own bunk, and they go here. They have the things in the lake where you can jump on them. And a black person like myself can't swim, so I won't be doing no water sports. So I will be watching and laughing as you guys get too drunk and then do these water sports. But it is a great idea. I low-key want to do it with like some of my best friends in the world. Just go there and just go ham. Like summer camp as a grown-up.
I will tell you, being a camp counselor, because again, I teach middle school in the summer and then I do camp so that the kids can go and enjoy themselves. But out of myself, my oldest son and my youngest son, my boys, I have the most fun out of all of us.
It's only right. Like I do the same thing for like, so basketball camp goes on. So we have our big basketball camp for the kids. It's the funnest part of the whole year for me. Like, that's it. Because there's no real pressure. Like these kids aren't, I mean, they're playing hard, but they're like, really, it's no wins and losses for real. Like if a kid does something crazy or silly, like we make fun of them and then we just have fun with it. But in the real life of coaching high school basketball, like everything matters. So it's like a rewarding situation to see kids enjoy themselves on that level. So, okay, yeah, like it's rewarding because you get to see, and then you get a kid that walks in the summer camp and he's shy or he's a, straight introvert. And by the time he leaves, he's got friends. He gives high fives. He's chest bumping people.
Yep.
He made his first shot. His mom and dad see him for the first time. And
there's just something. They get something out of it.
Get something out of it. So that's kind of why, like, a lot of people ask, like, why you coach? Because there's not enough money in it. It really isn't. But just the sheer fact that, like, you get to have an effect on a young person's life that may or may not know that they need it. They just it's cool. I don't want to get emotional about it, but that's why I coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And Matt, I mean, we have a rock wall at our camp, so doing that, learn to catch a football, shoot a basket, like all these things that we have, you watch these kids find the success. And that's why we do it. And Max has been doing it for 10 years. He was a camper there before. I know his kid goes there. Like we have our adult squad. Shout out to Max and his being welcome to the, grown-up fantasy football league for the first time. Yeah. Come on.
That's right.
So that's what you guys gonna do is the last day, you guys should pay some other people to come in and be your camp counselors, and you guys should go through camp like,
dude, we would wreak havoc. We would wreak havoc. Speaking of me and T, and Mike, I hope you're still watching. T and Mike Barrera, if you're still watching, T and I are going to our first Union game on Saturday.
Shout out to my boy Mikey B.
I don't know what those words all mean. Like, if you're still on and you want to pop in for a second, you tell me, and you can tell me what I need to know as a fan. And then, all right, Mike, if you want the link, I'll send it to you, and you can give me a quick, like, what I need to know about being a Union person. There we go. I'm going with a bunch of people from camp. And some of them are of the European persuasion. So they know things about things. I don't know things about things. I know the soccer ball, I think, is black and white. I don't know if MLS is different. I know it's the MLS. Who they play? Mike, I'm trying to boost the ratings, man. Come on. You don't need to put a shirt on. Come on, boost the ratings. Let's go.
Hey, listen, if this dude comes in and he's playing soccer to me and I actually understand it, he is a guru of life. I just don't like. Okay, so for example, I'll throw this out there. This is how black I am. This is the blackness, how black I am. So I was watching the native football. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching it, and I say to myself, "Yo, there's no way this guy's running away from the goal." T.
That's because he calls you T.
I know. I can't. I gotta put the kid to bed.
All right, we're putting the kid to bed. All right, send the link. I got you, Mike. All right, so finish it.
So the guy's like running away from the goal, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, why is this guy running away? They got to take this guy out of the game. The dude does this bicycle kick with his back to the goal, hits it. The crowd goes crazy. Like 50, 60,000 fans go absolutely crazy in like España or wherever they are at playing. Like a bull runs on the field. Like it's just craziness. It's actually crazy what's happening in Spain with this football that is not American football. It is straight pandemonium and all that. Guys are taking their shirt off. Girls are taking their shirt off when they score. It's mass pandemonium, and I'm here for it a little bit. Like I don't understand it, but I'm here for it.
And I think and maybe Mike will help clarify what the U.S. aversion to soccer is. But I feel like it's just because it's European, and people are like, "This is not American enough for me."
Well, look at our team. Like we got the U.S. women's soccer team is like the cream of the crop, right? Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
But the men's soccer team, we don't really need them. Like you can probably do without those guys. Like they're kind of just here.
Speaking of being just here, my man even brought a Union shirt with him.
Hey, I had to get changed real quick. As soon as I heard you say that, I literally jumped out of my bed and got my jersey on.
So wait, you could have had a shirtless in bed Barrera, and you're killing my ratings.
I did. I had
by
to.
not giving me those things.
I had to keep it.
You should have had
PG.
the taco meat out. You got to have the taco meat out.
Whole thing, just buck naked on the bed.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, Mike is the host of Across the Pitch here on the AAT Sports Network every Tuesday night, usually, right?
Friday night. You don't even.
Friday night. That's right.
Keep
They moved.
Yeah.
It moved. It was Tuesdays for a while, then it moved. I know you do a ton of articles. You do a ton of the great stuff. So tell me, first off, JD and I have nothing understanding soccer-wise.
Okay.
I've tried. I know that I'm going to go hang out with a bunch of cool people. I'm going to meet you in person, which I'm excited for outside of the little box.
Yeah. Okay. Time. So you're going July 30th, right? To the Houston.
That's Saturday, yes.
I will be there. I'm actually going to be covering the game for AAT Sports. So I will be there.
Okay.
Okay. First and foremost, I got to plug myself real quick. So Across the Pitch, Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. ish. One of my co-hosts, Dave Miller, who's also AAT Sports, is from England. So
he's British.
He's 5 hours ahead of us. So actually, sometimes it fluctuates, but we covered the team. I have media credentials, so I'm in the locker room with the players, when I go to the game. So if you want anything Union, you follow me. I guarantee I'll cover it. But, Chip, first and foremost, you have to go to the Sons of Ben tailgate before the game if you want the full experience.
Sons of Ben. He's writing that down.
Writing it down. Okay. What time are you getting to the stadium, Chip?
You tell me. Tell me. What time am I getting to the stadium?
So the Sons of Ben tailgate, you can buy tickets online. You do not have to be a member of the Sons of Ben. I am, but you go in, it's $20, all you can eat and drink for like $20 for non-members. They have a DJ, they have a bunch of seats out, they got some games. It's a good environment. Then you can watch the Sons of Ben walk into the stadium. But the Philadelphia Union are first place in the East. They're second place in the entire league of the MLS. They have won 4 games in a row, and they're hosting Houston, which is an okay team from the Western Conference. So you are going to be partying the entire time. That's all these games are just parties all from beginning to end. That's it.
Max is right about this part.
Oh, man.
What do you say? I can't see it.
He says you're probably going to get really
inebriated.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
So, is there a documentary about the Sons of Ben on YouTube? Max says he's sure there is.
Amazon Prime.
All right, there you go.
Question for you. All right,
Sure.
This is for me, Mike. This is JD. If you can or cannot see me, I'm still black. In case you.
I see you can't swim.
Okay.
You're from
Yes.
the camp. Yes, I got you.
Was in the Navy and cannot swim from one side of the pool to the other without being extremely gassed and damn near dying. All right, I have negative buoyancy.
The irony in that.
I have negative buoyancy. It's a known thing. So my question for you is, what is 3 things I need to know about football?
Oh wow, you went European on that. Like you went football. Football.
I can't.
Just in general about the sport. I mean,
just 3 things that I can. As long as I know these 3 things about the sport, I can watch it and I can.
Okay.
What's up?
You want to score more goals than the other team. That's definitely the first thing.
Okay.
Now nil means 0.
Correct. The in regular season MLS play, the games can end in a draw. So it could be 1-1 at the end of the 90 minutes. So that's one thing you have to know. The second thing is the most common thing that people get confused by is offside.
Yes.
So do you watch hockey?
I do.
Do you understand what offside in hockey means? The blue line?
I do, but I don't.
Okay.
But it's like, we don't got time. The show's not that long.
Okay. Essentially, if the puck crosses the blue line and the player's already ahead of the blue line, it's offsides. So in soccer, you cannot cherry pick in soccer. You have to be in front of the last defender, not the goalie, the last defender. If you're past that defender, it's offside. So that's like the most basic rule in soccer. Besides, just don't cleat people with your cleats up. And besides that, man, it's just you have to watch. It's like basketball with passing. You have to watch the beauty of the game. I know sometimes it's long. You're thinking they're just going back and forth. You have to see the full picture of the beauty of soccer, because it is, once you're there, Chip, I promise you're going to get addicted, just like all
I'm
my
going to get way
friends.
into it because I get into every sport that I watch. Like, it's obnoxious. So Max very nicely wrote out the definition of offsides, which is
Perfect.
I know.
when an attacker of the team is behind the last defender on the other team.
I know. I know. And it changes depending on the last one.
That's
So
right.
it's not always in the same line.
Do you see how this is not in my ear? This is always available for her.
Yep.
I want to point
She
that
does
out.
this every week. She does this every week. She comes in, she takes over the show. People don't even care about this.
Wait, Ollie, hold on. So Ollie is as British comes, and Ollie is now on here.
I love it.
Ollie,
Ollie,
I will
listen.
send you the link, and you can try to British explain this to myself and JD, and you can have debates with Mike, who runs our soccer show.
Yes.
Listen,
You just let
Ollie,
me know, and I
I'm
will
still
send you the link in 2 seconds.
Still black, Ollie. Just only know.
That's right. The gauntlet is thrown down, sir.
Listen, this is not how this is how the show goes every week. This is what we do.
This was not on the
down.
agenda of things that I would send you, or the things that I wasn't going to send you either.
No, we just
I'm down.
went to a union show. I love it. Been
I know,
dying to
because
get on.
I'm going to a union game. I'm very excited because I'm excited with the company. If you can understand the nonsense basketball and baseball, the offside rule is easy. Okay, wait. Then you know what? I'm gonna clap back real quick here. Hang on. So then explain to me, because I know why.
Did I say that?
I know why it's floppery. I know it's flopping in basketball, but please explain to me this red card,
The red card?
yellow card, green card. Explain these cards to me.
Okay, gotcha. So let's say in football, okay, if I were to sack a quarterback cleanly, no issue. But then there's degrees of fouls, right? You get like a 15-yard penalty or like a unsportsmanlike penalty. So think of it that way. It is a severity thing. So I can commit a foul, a basic foul, I knock you over, a whistle blows, it's a foul. If I hit you really hard in maybe a somewhat dirty manner, you're probably going to get a yellow card. If you've done it multiple times and got a few fouls, it's like almost like, okay, I've warned you 6 times, now here's a yellow card.
That's the tech right there for you.
It's a tech. I think, yes, perfect. It's a technical foul.
I don't know who this person is, but it's flopping and foodie ball too. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Listen,
that.
all I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna throw this out there. For those of you guys who want to know, I don't like the flopping. That's my only thing. I
can't. I don't like it in basketball. I can't stand in soccer where they're like, I'm wounded.
Or like you see
they're
like
like,
the guy go down.
Did anybody see that? Did anyone see it? Am I okay? Who saw
they
that?
waiting
Wait,
for
no one was
someone to
watching. Let me
look.
do it again.
Or they'll wait for the guy to look. They make eye contact with
That's
the ref,
it.
and then it's like,
You know what it is? No, you know what it is? It's because like I have children, and like kids never cry until their parents realize, like, hey, my kid may have banged their toe, and then the kid wails.
Right.
X.
Yeah, the red card is just like technical. You're out of the game right away. And you can get a red card right away. It could be like a straight double flagrant foul right away if it's something like, egregious. But you'll see a couple yellow cards. You'll probably won't see a red card, but it does happen from time to time.
Will you see a yellow card on Ocean Avenue?
I mean, yeah, it's a place on Ocean Avenue, right? I mean, obviously. That's one of my
There's
favorite
a place
alleys.
called Ocean Avenue
Yeah. Where I used to sit
where
and
I
talk
used
with
to
you,
sit
Chip.
and talk with you.
Wow.
Going back
I'm
to
an
my
elder email. I'm an
going
elder
back to
email.
my
Leave
high
me
school
alone.
days. My high school days right there, Chip.
Divorced Dad Rock. Shut up. Yeah. So there's a meme that's floating around. It's like, the classic rock and, dad rock, which is like, your Pearl Jams and all that garbage, right?
Crap.
Elder Emos is now the new dad rock
Okay. Yeah.
because like I'm 35 and like my music is the Fall Out Boys and the Yellow Cards and the Newfound Glories and the one like that's
Okay.
dad rock now.
Yeah, that's what I listen to every day. So I'm right there with you. We'll throw a little bit Limp Bizkit on if I have to. Just the 90s and 2000s.
Dude,
I really
y'all lost
love
me like 10 minutes ago. Like,
Yellow Card is to 35-year-old white dudes as Puff Daddy music is to 35-year-old black dudes.
That's true.
Facts. You know, that makes me feel good. All right. So, you know, I love when you guys can bring it full circle for you.
Would you put your ears so you hear what they're saying?
Come over here.
Tila, just get on the
Ladies
show.
and gentlemen,
I was making my
T.
I was making my way in.
T.
She was making her way downtown.
I know. I was Vanessa
Walking
Carlton
fast.
in.
Which is 35-year-old white chick music.
That's true.
Literally.
First of all,
White chicks music. I apologize.
that is true, but that's more like Michelle Branch was like my level.
This is what happens every time we say we're going to have a short show.
We haven't even gotten any of the good stuff.
Excuse me. I'm like Zac Efron. I'm getting my head in the game, guys.
Oh.
Can
That's
you
a
be
deep cut.
Can you be like Vanessa Hudgens and go your own way?
Didn't you?
You told me to come in here and literally gave me an earpiece.
I did.
Didn't you recently go to like a Backstreet Boys concert or some sort? T?
I did not go.
We did not, but we have in the past.
Many.
Nothing wrong with
Back
that.
in my days when I used to work for Radio Disney, and I ran shit. Yeah. Plus, I'm a huge boy bander guy.
I don't like New Kids on the Block though.
Because that's classic rock or classic
that's like
pop.
sacrilegious to say because like so many people are like, oh my god, New Kids. I'm like, nah. It's Hanson or nothing.
I did, Ollie. I did ran shit, guys. Yo, be careful. Hold on. This is a disclaimer here. Do not go trashing the Hanson in front of the wife.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Don't do that.
listen. Aren't they the German dudes with the long hair?
Yep.
They're not German. They are from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Close enough, though.
Germany, Tulsa, it's all the same.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's go back. Taylor Hanson, born March 14th, 1983.
Stop it right now.
Wait,
So
hold on. Wait, JD, before we go any further, I'm gonna volleyball set my wife here. You ready?
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Doesn't Taylor Hanson have a brewing company?
Yeah. Hops.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Listen, say what you want, but those boys are marketing the hell out of themselves.
You know it's bad when Adam comes on and goes, "Is this show canceled?" Adam, the biggest supporter in the podcast universe.
First of all, hold on. I came on here because we were talking about soccer.
That's true.
And
You guys win everywhere else. I just walked in on this because I know the rule for the offsides rule.
Okay. So anyway.
And I tried to explain it to him before. And I was like, then this is offsides, but then if they're over here, then this is offsides. And he didn't get it.
And I know you
can do it with salt, pepper shakers, G.I. Joes. I could teach you any way. Barbie.
Very simple.
Yeah.
All right.
Really
so
is.
Mike, my next question is,
Yeah.
how do they determine the time that they add on at the end of halves and games?
So
Because that clock is always running up.
Always running. The soccer clock does not stop. So essentially, if somebody gets hurt and they're down for a couple minutes, the referee keeps track of stoppage time. It's never like definite. It's basically if there's like a lot of injuries or if there's like a couple goals, you might get 5 minutes of stoppage time. Sometimes it's bullshit, personally. Sometimes they add too much or they give too little, but it's a little bit, arbitrary, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's basically how they track it.
I think that's my
You just
frustration.
get
It's the
more
arbitrary
soccer.
time.
But you just get more soccer.
You just get more soccer.
Like, what happens if there's an injury in the extra time? Do they add
more
extra time? Okay, so they can.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. Yeah, usually because that's the thing.
Sure you get your full time in
Yes.
rather than like in football where like the clock will still, tick down if it's not offsides or things like that.
Yeah, you get your full 90 minutes, which is nice. And also, like, if a team's winning by a lot or, like, up to 2 goals, they could try to kill the clock. So the stoppage time essentially, helps the other team have their full 90 minutes. But, I mean, again, it changes every single time.
It's pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Carl that I went to camp with, Camp Friends Are for Life, runs the board for the union.
Carl
Mandel.
Yeah. I think I follow him on Twitter, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so I talked to him, so we might go see the board after the game.
Okay, well, I'll be there. I'll probably.
You want to hang with us at that
Yeah,
point?
you want to come to us?
I might have to. Yeah, I'll probably.
But
you're gonna have to go to- aren't you-
Carl's the coolest.
But Mike, aren't you gonna have to go to like? Aren't you gonna have to go to like the press room after and like interview people and stuff?
Yeah.
So you can't see the board. You get to see other things.
I do. Well,
Divide and
okay.
conquer.
What section are you guys sitting in?
Oh wait, I have the answer. Hold
I
on,
do
hold on.
too.
Wait, I have the answer. Hold on.
That's extremely important.
Wait, you can tell us if we have
It's
good
right
seats.
under the board.
Sure.
Right
It is.
under
That's
the
what
board.
Carl
It
told me.
is section 119,
Oh,
row B.
I was there not that long ago. Yeah, it's a good section. You're going to be towards the other side of the river end, so you're across from the Sons of Ben. The main section to look at is 140. So the section 140 is the Keystone Ultras. They have like a trumpet going the whole time. It's a lot of fun. So definitely check that out when you're watching the game. See the crowd going crazy, but you guys got good seats though.
I'm nipping and Oliver agrees. So the extra time is at the discretion of the official. Soccer is silly.
Yeah, but isn't everything at the discretion of the official when you think about it?
So
In every sport?
now we're kind of leaning back into my side of the
Let's go.
officiating thing.
Let's get back on track.
Where
Let's get back on
which
track.
I say flat out at the beginning of the game, like I announce the start time to both teams. And if there is a time limit on a game, so like in the early rounds of tournaments, it's like an hour 50. You cannot start another inning past an hour 50 from the first pitch. So I will let both teams know, like, hey, 11 o'clock is the first pitch, which means we will not start anything past 12:50. Right? And they're like, well, what does that mean? 12:50 by our clock. I said, no, by the clock in my pocket. It used to be on my wrist. Watch broke, so now it's by the clock in my pocket. And they're like, well, is it like the start of the inning? Or I say it is the minute they record the final out. I look at my watch. If it is before that hour 50 mark, we will do another inning. If it's after, we won't. It's
Right.
not arbitrary. It's very clear. Time
Right.
is time.
But I just
It's not
need to
wibbly
check
wobbly.
Hold on. Don't Doctor Who right now. Number 2.
Ollie gave you props.
Yeah, see? Thank you.
Ollie's my British friend, Michael.
Yeah.
I know.
It isn't, but it is. And there's a lot of things that are at the discretion of the refs in every sport, no matter what.
NBA.
Think about all the calls and everything else that are usually bullshit, sometimes fair.
See, that's the thing I like about soccer. The referee, although they can sometimes control the match if it's like ticky-tack fouls, for the most part, the game continues. It doesn't stop. It's not like football where you're watching 4.5 hours to watch 60 minutes go by, which is just stupid. Like, there's no stops like that.
I will not stand for the blasphemy here. Hold on, let me jump in here.
It's true.
JD's back. Good to hear you.
Listen.
It takes
The
3.5 hours to watch a
challenge-
football game.
The challenges are what make it, because those calls really do matter. Like if you're watching an Eagles game, and let's say, like, remember the infamous the score, like that. Without replay, that game is different. Like these things are different now. So refereeing will always be an issue, no matter if it's umping in baseball, no matter if it's basketball calls and all that stuff, or football, whatever. Like the officiating will always play a part. Maybe not as much in soccer, but in most sports, like she said, refereeing and officiating is going to change the complexity of the game because these guys want to be the star.
Yeah.
But remember, like Mike was already saying, it's up to the referees to add how much time they want, which is arbitrary. It's up to the referees to decide the severity of the penalties.
Yeah, but
So
in soccer, they let it go a little bit more. They're not focusing over every little thing. They're letting them play
To some
until they
extent.
feel like it has to be stopped.
Yeah, or it's like, well, the thing is that you're not seeing a rivalry match. You're seeing like a Western Conference team, so it's not as like high intensity. So you might have gotten more whistles if you play like the Red Bulls or NYCFC, but it's still going to be a good game. The Union are really good, so you're going to see a really good squad. They're very defensive.
Yeah, they're number 1 right now, aren't they?
Number 1. So Chip, I know you like the hockey team, right? Flyers, right? So
I like that there is a hockey team. I
You
wish
like
it
the
wasn't
hockey
owned by who it was.
What hockey team?
You know Bernie Perrant, right? One of the greatest.
Yeah, well, he was a
goalies.
good one. I liked him. He was good. I'm cool with him.
Andre Blake, the goalie for the Union, is the Bernie Perrant of soccer. He's an incredible goalie.
Didn't he play for the U.S. national team?
No, he's Jamaican. He plays for the Jamaican team.
Sure, I'm good.
But just when you're watching Andre Blake, think of that's the level of goalkeeping that you're watching. A Bernie Perrant, like a Patrick Waugh type of player, Hall of Fame goalkeeper in net. So
Are we not going to talk about the low-hanging fruit, which is the fact that the Flyers are still being talked about, even though they don't have a team anymore?
They're awful.
I will not stand for Flyers talk on this show.
Terrible.
I will not stand for right now because there's 3 of us. You notice where Mike is positioned on the frame. Look at the bottom right corner. Flyers rip because they're garbage. Mm-hmm. We will not stand for Flyers talk until they do literally anything. Literally anything.
It's like that meme where it's like, do something.
Yeah.
Just poking it with a stick.
Mixed with the thing with the dog in the room with the fire, and he's like, this is fine.
This is
like,
fine.
do something with fire.
Let me show you something. Watch how I throw you this alley real quick.
Ooh.
So I know everybody loves a good eagle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves a good eagle talk.
Always.
What about these Sixers throwing a damn stadium up in the middle of the damn city? Like, what's up?
I have.
Okay, that is on the top of the list. Mike, you are under no regard. You are not required to stay. I know you were half asleep. I think we are done with the union talk. But if you have a thought about the 76th place, feel free to share it real quick.
I'll add it real quick. Then I got to go take a shower. So the Union Stadium.
More viewership. Just given away.
To start lathering up. So Chip, the Sixer Stadium.
He's got soap on his nips.
So the cool. Okay, so
bubbly with Barrera.
That's a good one. I like that. The one thing with the Union is that they're underneath the Commodore Barry Bridge. It's a beautiful stadium. You're gonna love it there. But they are not in Philly. They're like on the outskirts or in Chester.
It's in Chester, yeah.
Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, you should be in Philly." Like, why? I don't want to deal with the traffic. I can go over the bridge and get back to Jersey and be home in 5 minutes, whatever. Having the stadium inside the city is going to cause massive headaches for traffic, and it's going to make me not want to go, honestly. Because why the hell would I want to deal with it? I'm not going to take a train to Philly from Jersey. It just sounds like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the Sixers aren't going to do anything either because they're not that good either. So
second round
gives you 0 awards. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is, I've been telling you guys this for 2 years. Like, it's almost like my name is Oracle or something.
It was. Now it's ooh.
It's almost like the O stands for something.
Yeah.
Ooh. Mike, thank you for coming on and explaining soccer. I will see you on Saturday, sir.
I'll DM you my number so you can text me.
I think
later.
I have it, but do it anyway just in case I don't.
I got you, man.
Say it out loud for everybody right now.
Can we put it up with a picture of you like without your shirt on so we can get viewership up? Like, ladies, call Mike Barrera.
Ladies.
Yeah, please do.
Let's get you inside. Let's get you
by Manscaped.
I'll see you guys.
All right, now.
Peace.
So yeah, my issue with this Sixers stadium
is that it's on Market Street.
There's so many issues with the Sixers stadium. We saw Bruno Mars in concert twice. Okay, we saw him once in Philly, like 3 rows from the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then we saw that same tour in Madison Square Garden. I had never hated an experience more than Madison Square Garden.
It's not
in general.
No.
No.
People love MSG.
I can't stand it. That's not what this Philly. They cannot do a Philly.
Hold on.
Knockoff of Madison Square Garden. No, I will not hold on. I will not hold on.
You can
I will
sit
not
down
hold
for a second.
Will you woosah his ears?
So, I don't know if anybody's been to Nashville, but if they have, there's also a stadium, a music stadium right at the top of Broadway. So it's like right there. Now they've done it right. I was there. When the Union played in Nashville, and then there was a Bon Jovi concert and different stuff too. And the way that they have it set up there, it works, right? Even Madison Square Garden, that's been there forever. Everybody kind of knows. You're on the train. You're not going to park, so don't even try it. Park in Hamilton, take the train up. Like, we all know that. That's fine. Right. However, where this is in Philadelphia, like, it doesn't make any sense, first of all. It was a mall, now it's, or whatever, in the fashion district, basically. Like, people from Philadelphia are not going to take the train or SEPTA in. They're going to want to drive their car. And then what's going to happen is they're going to want to leave. And then we're all going to be stuck on Market for 3 hours at a time. Nobody wants that. Nobody. I think it's cool, but like there's an open space, like by the Wells Fargo, like they could put a 4th location right there.
But they don't need
and
they don't need to do
that.
anything wrong with the Wells Fargo. So you pull the Sixers from there. The Flyers are whatever they are, but they're still going to be. There's no
it's 10
reason
years away.
to build another stadium. It's absurd. Yeah, Adam's saying the same thing. It's going to be a whole new Sixers team by 2031. This team is not going to be the same draw that they are right now. So I see you, JD. Hang on. I'm going to say my damn point. Hang on. We just got rid of terrible ownership that was double dipping with multiple teams. This is a mistake. And it's privately owned, and this is not what it needs to be because ownership changes. Ownership changes constantly. This is a mistake. Point blank. Yes, JD.
So I would like to humor me for a minute.
I would love to humor you.
So what I'm thinking is that by 2031, when this is actually completed, there should be infrastructure in place to kind of subsidize this. We kind of already seen this in different cities. We saw it in Chicago. Chicago is actually a really bad location for where they built the stadium, the United Center. When they first made it, it was in a bad location. It was actually terrible. It was worse than anything. And the least, let's be real, like the Sixers and the Flyers sharing the stadium makes us look low budget as shit. It makes us look super cheap.
I agree, but
Jets and Giants.
Yeah, but we hello. Answer that. You just said their teams.
I know. I was just again low hanging fruit. I wanted to slap down those two.
Right, but
captions.
it is true. It is true. But then it's like the parking structure. Think about Temple when you go to games. It's such a nightmare. Right, like it just does. It's not going to work there. People are not gonna. They're going to be like, where do I park? And it's going to suck.
But check this out. But just like I said, just humor me. But think about 2031. They're doing a whole lot of construction in Philly already. They've already done it. So they may do something. They never stop, right? So who's to say they don't knock down more stuff and they make it more of a we have.
Yeah, but if they don't listen, that private investor or that guy should take that money and put it towards all the potholes on 95. So we can be done with this, man.
They can finish 309.
Yeah.
No more road work.
It's not the no more road work. They got to finish the ones they've started.
Yeah.
No, those guys got to have jobs, dude. Like it's be bad days if they don't have jobs.
They're always going to have jobs, but 95, everybody's car. It's like every single person that drives here is like, you guys are right. Like it's not a joke. I'm like, no it is very real. You could swim in our potholes.
Okay, well, since we're doing that, we're doing it. So now the Sixers actually practice in New Jersey. They practice in Camden, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You're correct.
Yeah.
So if there's an issue, you can't put their practice facility with a new place like near the aquarium because it's just not right. They're not the Philadelphia, they're the New Jersey 76ers. So
which is why Harris had to sell the damn team.
Yeah.
Right. So what I love about this is it's creating a discussion about why they've had to share this place for so long. The Sixers are historically a better team than the Flyers in the last 10 years. They just are. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just that they both suck so bad they don't get their own shit. So it's just like, hey, like it just makes them look low budget. I think this does help. If they can figure out the infrastructure stuff, getting people in and out in a timely manner.
That's going to be hard. Right where
but
they
it's
are.
a mess going to the Eagles game too, though. It's a mess going to the Eagles game too.
It is, but at least in that way, there's several different ways in. And you can kind of like loop around and loop out. Like, like, okay, getting off here at Packer Ave, that's going to suck. Let me go up to here. There's when you're on Market Street in that particular area, there's nowhere for you to go.
No.
So you're kind of like, and where are you waiting it out? Like, you're not.
You're not.
You're waiting on Market.
It stinks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it stinks, but we're like, what?
We need like I said, there's that space, that open space in the sports complex. There's a huge area they could put,
and it's a sports complex.
They're gonna wind up spending more money in the long run to knock everything out, redo. Like it's six half dozen of one, six. What is it? Six half dozen of one, six of the other. And it'll still kind of be in a localized area. So, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, hold on. So I want to talk. Phil's points here that I've had up for a little bit is good. I can't
read it.
He says, I'd rather than build a stadium somehow over by Xfinity. Xfinity has to be pissed because they're going to lose a ton of customers once the stadium is built. And that was in partnership with the 4 major teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it has become a destination that goes with it. What's that?
But didn't you say he sold it? So now he sold it. So that agreement is over.
True, but everything is right there. So it's like you park. We did a day where we went to the Franklin Institute, pulled back up, went to a Phillies game, and then we were like, you know what? There's a Flyers game happening tonight. And we literally just bought a ticket, walked in. We didn't even have to move our car.
We got club box tickets for like $20. The Flyers
that
suck.
says a lot. Right.
And
but
I get that. That's the Philly experience. I get that. And your guys are absolutely right. I cannot tell you that you're wrong. That is a great fact. The only problem is
Market Street's a bad spot for it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. That's fine. Market Street, terrible. Don't do that.
I think what they're doing, they're taking a page out of New York's book. Like everybody knows that Philly is in competition with New York. I don't know why. New York smells terrible. I don't know why, but it's
because the buildings are so high, the heating grates and all the heat stays. So when it's hot, like right now, like people don't realize when they go to New York, they're like, oh yeah, it's summer. Let's go. I'm like, do you guys have a death wish? Because it's hot. It's very hot right now. Every New Yorker will tell you, let's not do
anywhere dead center of the city in Philly is a horrible idea.
Correct. And Market, guys. What is it? 10th in Market? 20th in Market?
It's 76th place. Relax.
Whatever.
76th place. And on top of it,
last time I checked.
Didn't they used to play the Palestra? If I'm not mistaken, the Palestra used to be popping.
The Palestra was popping, but for college basketball. They played at
what
the
about the
Spectrum. They played at the Spectrum. There's they played the Spectrum.
Wells Fargo.
It's where Xfinity
is. There's the Spectrum that all got knocked down and rebuilt.
It's the same area. It's in the same area.
See, here it is. Have you guys took a notice to where the interstate is?
Right there.
And you can see every single thing from the interstate. Have you also noticed that no other team practices in New Jersey?
Yeah. Why would you?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
New Jersey sucks. Mike's off the air, right? New Jersey sucks.
Listen, and we get so this is my point. That the 76ers have been distancing themselves from the whole idea of Philadelphia stuff for a minute. And now they're trying to get back into the heart of Philly because honestly, why not? And honestly, if it's a bad idea, people are still going to go. They're just going to have to suffer through the bad parking. Like, it's not a big deal. Like,
but
for me, if I can watch it on television rather than have to go through all that in particular, that's what I'm going to do.
This is not a 5-year bad idea. This is a 50 to 70-year bad idea.
Yeah.
So you don't think they're going to come up with something to circumvent the traffic?
No, absolutely not.
So you think they're going to just let it be bad?
They have the convention center, and they haven't come up with anything for that either.
The convention center is like trash, though. Like, come on, let's be real. Like,
yeah, but they still haven't come up with anything where they're like, here's the convention center, here's Reading Terminal. Oh, look, there's a melting pot. Like,
I actually like the Reading Terminal. Like, it's actually.
Me too.
Who doesn't like the Reading Terminal?
But they haven't figured out that traffic either. It's like, what stops you from going
never
to those
going
places?
to,
is that?
So,
that's what I'm saying.
That's the point. So all of a sudden, just put a stadium there. Come on now.
Listen, I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm out, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna be popping out there, and I'm gonna take the train because I'm with it.
Okay, these people can't get their wedding pictures on Broad Street if everybody's stuck in traffic trying to work their way around.
They can. You're just stuck in that's even better. You just stand in the middle and like hold your bride down and kiss her. There's like a 4x4 right beside
with enraged Sixers fans.
And Joel Embiid will lift them up like he did the bat mitzvah.
He's gonna own the team by that time. He's not gonna be playing in 10 years. Get out of here.
Is it 10 years?
2031. Yeah.
What is it? 22 right now, right? Gosh,
it's 9 years.
It's 2030. It's 32. First of all,
what I say?
31.
Whatever. Nobody asked you. The lease runs out in 2031, so they'll move in 2032.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time,
Embiid's knees are going to hold up 10 years.
I don't think they're going to hold up a year.
What if the Flyers just get absolved? Like, what if they just say we're done with the Flyers in general? Like, we're just done with it. Like,
something needs to be
done. It will never happen in Philadelphia.
Absolutely not.
Because we're a blue-collar town, a.k.a. we would rather have the Flyers than we would the Sixers.
We would rather have the Flyers than the Jersey Devils. That's their story.
We knew this was wrong when they made this movie We knew it was all about money when they made this movie in the middle of Philly. We should have knew then.
What, Hustle?
Hustle. We should have knew then
Great
something
movie.
was on the horizon. Great movie though.
Great movie.
Oh,
What else you got, Chip?
Adam, do you think the Sixers will win a title before 2032?
yes.
No.
No.
Well, that's fine. Let's go back. What's today? The 25th of July? Let's remember that.
Just look at the year. We know it's 10 years from now. Shit, they suck. They can't get over
We
it.
are a Doc Rivers head coaching job away.
And
And multiple players.
In a more GM
Well, that's a
job
year.
away.
We can wait Doc Rivers out a year. Go ahead.
And more than that.
It's not Doc Rivers. It is legitimately Daryl Morey turning this
It's
place
the whole team.
What team? Killing myself for the team? What team?
What team?
Listen, all I'm saying is
I'm gonna
Morey
get mine.
is a part of the problem too. I'm gonna get mine. So Tila, what movie is that? What movie is that?
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Team. What team?
I'm
No.
gonna get mine.
I'm gonna get mine. That's the worst attitude I ever heard. Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Let's go. Come on, just on the tip of your tongue. I can see it.
Coach Carter?
Come on. No.
Am I close?
No.
Oh wait, no. Is it the one I love?
You do love this movie.
Remember the Titans?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, I was in basketball mode at that moment in time.
Listen, this is a sports podcast. We go from topic to topic. And speaking of that,
Blue, you're my boy.
You're out.
8 games this week. Some situations arose. Nothing with coaching problems, though, because it was 2 different tournaments, and it wasn't that one team that was the suck team. Phil, I know you are on. Phil is a softball umpire, so you are not allowed to answer these hypothetical situations. I'm going to present items and issues that happened, and you have to tell me why the rule was ruled the way it was or what the decision was made.
Have you talked to Tila about these previously?
No, I have not, because she's so tired of hearing my umpire stories.
Honest to God, he starts talking and I'm like, that's cool.
Oh,
And I just
This is that Charlie Brown topic.
Listen, if anybody wants to know anything that goes on, just tune into his
Umpire stories. It's right there.
umpire stories and go to his. It's like a diary. It'll tell you the whole thing. I've opted out of that story.
she's not taking it.
So here's situation number 1.
All right,
Okay. Again, little kids tournament, so you have to also think along those lines. Kid goes to bunt, shows bunt. Okay. Pitcher starts the delivery. Kid pulls bat back onto shoulder. Swings away fully. Kid is immediately called out. Why?
because he showed bunt first. The rules changed for a bunt. Right or wrong?
He's called out
Immediately.
like he no longer has chances to hit.
The play is over. He
No,
is
he
immediately
can't.
out.
He can't,
Did he
'cause
have?
he's already showed bunt.
Yeah, but did he already have like a count on?
Nope.
He showed bunt, Tila. That's the answer.
No, I'm with you. I'm just asking the question.
Is that right?
So in Little League
'Cause it's a
Baseball,
change. It's a
so in
change.
Little League Baseball, they use, solid aluminum bats. And when players come running in full speed, when they see bunt, and then you pull back and take a full swing, it is a safety issue. And most tournaments, when you show bunt, you have to either bunt or pull back. You are not allowed to take a full swing
Why wouldn't you bunt?
because he was trying to move
They've
a
already
runner
coming
by
up.
stealing. The
I
runner
mean,
was
but at
trying to
that point,
steal.
Just go for it.
The runner was trying to steal third.
Right.
So the third baseman coming in,
He
but
would've
he
hit it
didn't want to
into
actually
third.
bump.
No, I get it.
Right. So it was a
Okay.
safety issue. Kid was immediately called out. Kid was mad at his coaches for not telling him the rule. Not me. Situation number 1. You guys crushed it. That was an easy one. There you go.
You
That was a
actually
bunt.
told us the answer. You actually told us that.
Well, I know. I was looking for the reasoning.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Situation number 2. Ground ball hit the shortstop.
Okay.
Big chunky fellow on first base. Running nice and slow.
Lizzo Chunky or Big Poppy Chunky?
Kid, right?
He had a mullet.
Oh.
Oh, definitely Big Poppy.
He had a mullet.
Oh yeah, he Big Poppy.
So big chunky fellow running from first to second. Very slow ground ball to shortstop. Fields
Is
it.
that important to the story?
Shortstop fields it. I don't know. Shortstop fields it, tosses it to second. The second baseman drops the ball.
Okay.
However, the runner is out. What did I call?
Interference.
Again, he's running from first to second.
Oh, he's running from first. Okay, he's running from first to second.
And the ball is at the shortstop. Why did I call this young fellow out?
Because the ball's dead.
It wasn't.
No. Did he run into the shortstop?
He did not. He was running from first to second. The shortstop fielded the ball and threw it to second base.
Okay.
Where the second baseman dropped the ball.
He dropped it on the base.
What's that?
He dropped it on the base.
He did not. Also, that's dumb. That's stupid. Phil, hang on. I'm going to give him like 2 more guesses. Again, I called this chunky fellow out, even though he reached the base safely before the ball.
But
he ran to first. He ran.
No, I'm sorry. No, I apologize. He reached the base safely well after the ball was dropped.
Yeah, but it was already caught on the base.
It was not. It was dropped.
I don't know what type of damn baseball y'all damn playing, damn. Shit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Nah, this is a bullshit, Taylor.
Running from first to second base.
Yeah,
trying to make sure I'm explaining right. Kid's running from first to second base. He gets about halfway there and
he's supposed to go back and touch the base. He's supposed to go back and touch the base.
Ground ball.
Wait, he slowed down?
He slowed down.
So he was going to try to run back to first.
No, it was ground ball. He had to go to second. It was a force play.
Just tell us the damn answer, man. This shit is...
It had nothing to do with the slide. He wasn't anywhere near the base. Phil?
And there was no runner interference.
There was no runner interference.
Then y'all playing some damn weird ass baseball. Then like, I'm done. That's why I quit playing baseball because of y'all.
Nope, not on the transfer. He literally did not catch the ball.
But he
did it hit him? Did he hit him?
The second baseman, the ball was thrown to him, and he did not ever catch it.
So then why would the kid
Why did I call the runner out?
Are you a bad referee?
No argument, by the way, from the coach.
Are you a bad umpire?
No, I'm a great umpire.
Was he on first or did he hit the ball?
He was on first base.
Did he give himself up? He didn't want to run anymore?
He had kind of given himself up, but then he realized that he could still have an opportunity.
Okay.
And started running again.
Okay.
So it's a start-stop.
So what about the guy? Wait, what about the guy on first?
What do you mean about the guy on first?
So the ball was hit. So then the runner had to run to first base.
Okay, so he got there, no problem.
Okay.
But then what this shit is, man.
When he were to slow down, this has to do with the first base. Guys,
he ran out of the base path.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I said
yes, she
did.
Did you
really?
I did.
Well, then I apologize.
In the beginning, I said he ran out of the line.
I apologize. He ran like 9 steps out of the base paths.
Do you know how many times this has come up just in life?
I apologize.
Wow.
I was not.
She answered this. That's why I was like, it can't be. She said it like one of the first guesses. That's why I didn't guess it.
Thank you.
Max, I did say.
This is proof.
Why did I call him out? Yeah, y'all can move this man. All right, last one. Pop fly along the fair foul line on first base. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The pitcher is coming to catch the ball. The batter is running out of the box along the line. There is contact.
Oh, the runner's out.
Runner's out.
Why?
Because he hit the guy that was going to catch the ball.
But according to the cheap seat moms,
what's the cheap
the
seat?
runner, meaning it's the moms who are like, my baby never does anything wrong and they don't know the rules and I really wish they did, those parents, doesn't, quote, the runner have a right to the base path?
No, because it's in the line of where they're going to catch the ball and potentially they have to be able to attempt to make the play. There's a phrase for it, though, and I don't know what it's called.
Exactly, Max, right. It's the runner's job to avoid the fielder.
Yeah.
He can go
2 steps.
I'm so proud of her. Go 2 steps in, go 2 steps out. Well, you can slow down. You can speed forward. You cannot make contact, and you cannot interfere with the first defender. He was the first guy making a play at the ball.
Facts. So I want to throw this out there that this is actually you set us up because you told us before that the dude was out of the path of the base on the last one. So this is really fucking amateur hour over here, dude.
Let me tell you why I know that, because it happened to our kid.
Yes, it did. Share the story.
Did you argue? Did you pull a Karen?
No, I did not.
Oh, you yelled.
No, I did not.
Actually, you texted me all angrily, all caps, to make sure I got the explanation.
Hold on. Because it was actually so bad for both teams because none of them knew the rules, that they were all the coaches were pulling up the rules on their phones because none of them knew. And I was like, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, but he's running, you step into the path. I don't understand why this happened. And then it's because Nathan was running. He tried to avoid the kid, but the kid also then ran up. It was like, so now every time I hear things like that, I'm like, oh.
Base path.
Adam,
I do have the weirdest things because doing my little kid baseball, they find the every single bottom of the barrel rule. And it's my job as an umpire to try and calmly explain things to parents and coaches and things like that. And they never understand.
All right.
Parents are the worst,
my
man.
segment?
I am. And guess calling your own kid out must be a very funny scenario. Max, there was a day when I had to ump my 8-year-old and my 12-year-old, and I called them both out on strike threes looking. It was a very quiet car ride home, even though I was right both times.
Facts. That's how you know you're real as shit. All right, T, are you ready for this? Can you give me the big box? I'm in my feels, man. All right, so a couple weeks ago, everybody knows I'm a basketball coach, right? So I am in a meeting. We're having our South Carolina, our state coaches clinic where everybody from the state comes and we have these speakers from all these different colleges come. So there has been talks about our state changing our rule that you can go to school at any school you want to. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in the district or in the zone. They're trying to go away with that. Well, we know that the world is crazy and it's ruled by money. So bigger schools are going to have better shots at getting better players, and it's going to make things a little harder to keep the good players at smaller schools, but maybe less money had. All right. So today I go listen to the speaker. I'm in here. I'm putting on my hat. All right. So I am Coach Dean right now. Coach Dean is in this scenario, and we're talking about players and how there's no loyalty. So my gripe is with the parents. All right. If you raise little Johnny son of a bitch to be a jump shooter.
What's his last name? Is that French?
Johnny son of a bitch.
There's umlauts over the A.
It's Polish.
It's German.
I can say it because my wife is Polish. I just figured. I throw it out there. So it's one word, son of a bitch.
Some bitch.
All right. Son of a bitch. All right, listen. Okay, anyway. So my man's.
Sorry, I love my man Phil.
Oh,
hey, Phil.
Okay, so basically, not to get off topic. So we're in this thing with this coach. I will not name his name. So he makes the comment that we shouldn't be worried about, players being snatched up and being taken from us because we're going to have to coach no matter what, which is absolutely true. I get that. But there needs to be a burden on the parents in general. Like, you got latchkey kids everywhere, kids that are like just not being like raised. They're basically because, both parents have to work. Like, unfortunately, that's the world we live in where not one person can make enough money. So now you got kids that are basically going to the highest bidder. And there's nobody at home saying, hey, Johnny son of a bitch, don't transfer schools 15 times because you don't like your coach or because you can't live through adversity. And now, I hate these participation trophies, and this is just a reflection of that. You cannot, as a parent, this is a shout out to parents, and this is for me too. Just because your son or daughter is not excelling in a sport does not mean that you have the right to take them out of the situation. Only thing you're doing is making them a weak ass adult because things are going to happen. You're not going to be the winner all the time. You're not even going to be the best player on your team all the time. So for parents out there, if you're listening to me,
are they going to higher income schools? Is that like
They're going to places where there's like NIL deals and more playing time and more opportunities.
So it's school vouchers, but for sports.
Exactly.
So check this out. So South Carolina is one of the states that like we don't have a huge private school presence because public schools rule the roost because we have a lot of Nike and Adidas schools. So we have the sneaker companies pretty much decide who's going to have the best teams because everybody wants to play there. So, for example, there's a kid who has transferred 3 times in 3 years. Little Johnny now is a sophomore or junior and has played at 3 different area high schools. At what point do we say little Johnny is uncoachable? Because you've had to go to 3 different places and it didn't work out. It's not those 3 different places. It's you, young man. You are the problem. Your mom and dad should be slapped across the face, and they should tell you to sit your ass down and just deal with adversity. So, unfortunately, we live in a microwave world. Go ahead.
But I can tell you, like, just doing all these tournaments, it is a lot of the times the parents and their kids, and
always the parents
and the parents going, oh, it's the umpires. Like the championship game of this tournament that I did yesterday, the final score was 14-0.
Wow.
But do you know why it was 14-0? Because my
team was just depleted.
Because my partner missed 3 strike calls.
Say again?
According to the losing team's parents, the reason why it was 14-0 is because the home plate umpire, not me, I was the base umpire, missed 3 calls for strikes.
Hold on, wait. So wait. I'll make sure I'm doing hood math real quick.
Sure.
Right, it doesn't make sense.
No. Even if you got the 3 runs, even if the bases were loaded every single time.
Right, but that's what he's saying. They want to blame them no matter what.
Okay.
It's like sometimes your kids
just run into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Look, there are times when our oldest especially is so on his game, it's disgusting. And then there are times when, like every other kid, he has a tough game. He has a tough day. And you know what? That's okay. And he beats himself up about it. And I'm like, bud.
Hard.
I'm like, bud, it happens. Like, it happens. Whatever. I'm not going to say that it was the ump's fault. I'm not going to say that it was anybody else's fault. It is what it is. And more parents need to say, like, you know what? Sometimes you just lose.
Sometimes you suck, bud. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
And what can we learn from this? So, like, I know
Ben Simmons. You're raising the
Ben
next
Simmons.
You're
Carson
raising the
Wentz,
next versions. You're raising the next versions of these players we love to poke fun at. Like, you know how many parents in Philly probably were like, well, Carson Wentz is not loyal. Ben Simmons is not loyal. Well, check this out. If your kid has been to more than 2 schools in 3 years, then you're the problem. You are the problem, sir.
Yeah, it's the matter of if they're transferring for sports, especially. Like, it's different if you're being bullied or something. That's one thing. But, like, you're transferring for sports.
On parent,
but it does. And like,
to a point.
And like,
a point.
But, like, playing sports, like, at the level even that we're talking about, like, the MO on my strikes. So we know, like, when you talk about, like, professional umpire and, like, professional sports, there's analytics and all this stuff. There's for baseball too. So I've worked with some of these teams enough where they see me walk up and I'm the home plate umpire and they go, hey, he is going to call the outside strike all day long. As a pitcher, you know that because you're going to keep hitting that spot. As a batter, you know you need to protect it. So you have 2 choices. You can either, if you see that pitch coming, you can foul it off and wait for the next one, or you can let me call it as a strike 3 every time and be like, oh, well, he's not being fair. No, you need to adjust to what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's the Doc Rivers thing. It's the Doc Rivers thing. Like, you have to be able to adapt to your situation. And what we're doing is now, because we're all teachers, we're all parents, and we're all love sports. So there's a common denominator in all that. As a parent, you have to be the protector of your children. So you have to protect their peace, but you also have to prepare them for life. And life is shitty. I'm just being honest with everybody out here. And it's shitty for everybody. It's not a race thing. It's not a anything thing. It's a life thing. Like, there's going to be bad things that are going to happen to you throughout your life. Adversity makes the man or the woman. So if you can't handle adversity on your team, your coach benches you because you've been sucking. I'm that parent that calls and says, hey, like, for example, I'm going to use my son's name. I'm going to say Jonah. He went to camp today. He didn't play well. Today he sucked. Tomorrow he could go back and he might have the best game of his life. And I'll tell him at that, hey, son, you got a real future at this. But in the moment that he sucks, I'm not the guy that's saying, he's just picking on you, son. Let's go. We're not playing here anymore. Take our ball and go home. We're not doing that.
We make our kids play through stuff. We have our youngest was the quarterback for his football team. And, there were some issues with a mother who was 100% a Karen. 100% a Karen. She had a thing about him. I don't know what it was, but she was always on the sidelines constantly. People like that are poison and they're incorrect. She never thought her kid did anything wrong. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but your kid is one of the worst players on this team. But you know what? They were 7. So that's going to change and that's okay. Like my kid, he just, some days he was okay with it. And some days when it was really muddy out, he wasn't feeling it. But as a parent, I can say like, hey, like that was not your game. That was not your best game. Like we can talk about, but she was like picking on a kid through, and she's an adult or like, I guess an adult. And like, she only was focused on her one child and trying to get all the other moms. And then like, I was like, whoa. So now this year, he's not interested in playing, right? He's not. We could have pulled him mid-year, but that's not how we do things. You're going to finish your season no matter what happens. But this year, now we made the choice. Like, and he said, he goes, I don't really love it. I'm like, then you don't have to do it now. We're done. He's doing fall ball because he loves baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
That's cool. But
he's now signed up for it and he's going to play the whole season.
Right.
And it's going to be tough.
He's fine.
Because it's the first time he's going to see real, kid pitching. Everything's been machine pitch.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
It's going to be he's got to own up. He's got to play through the season.
You got to learn. You got to figure it out. And there's so many times where, people just like, they pull them. They're like, no, we're going to go here. We're going to go here. During COVID, and like they were like, oh, what? It's not happening right now. Well, let's go over here now. Oh, now our team's back. Let's bring our kids back. I'm like, you're also hindering your kids from getting comfortable playing with their you know what I mean? Like getting a feel for something. Now it's just ridiculous. Parents are unbelievable.
But that's what we're unbelievable. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's go to the classroom. Let's look at it in the classroom.
Yeah.
You got little Johnny. He hasn't turned in his work, especially during COVID. Everything's electronic. So that really is on the parent to make sure that the work's being done at home.
Yeah. But,
people calling and telling the teacher.
They're teachers.
People telling, the teachers are not doing this. The teachers aren't doing anything. If you didn't have respect for teachers before COVID, you damn sure got respect for them now because they got little Johnny son of a bitch every day. And they having to deal with his mood swings and all this crap. But
that's the other thing. They wanted to complain about the teachers, but at the same time, they're like, I can't get him to do his work. Okay, well, take 25 of them in a classroom every single day. And then let's have a conversation about, my kid. Well, shut the fuck up. How's that sound?
I like the way
it's so exhausting.
And you came in.
And if you can't get your kid to do it, why would they respect me? Their teacher.
But that's what's crazy. They do. Like the homes, like for me and Chip, for example, like when you start dealing with these players and they don't have a male figure, and then you're having a conversation with a mom about it, like, hey, like I can't get little so and so to do his work. Can you talk to him? And you get through to the kid. You get through to the kid, and now he's doing his work. He's showing up to practice on time. He's doing everything right. That's the good stuff. But the bad stuff is sometimes it's the parent that's overbearing who thinks they know what they're talking about. Listen, I forgot more basketball than most of these parents know. Like I forgot it. So when you're having conversations about adversity, regardless if it's in basketball or in schoolwork, but in life, like we're trying to teach young men how to be men. And unfortunately, when you have young boys that you're raising, you have to be kind of hard on them because the world is unfortunately cruel and nobody's going to take care of you when you get in the real world. But these parents, they handicap these kids. They put them in, they basically just give them everything. And then they wonder when they got to deal with some adversity why they just quit. They quit because you've given them everything. Like there's
It's
a lot of time.
participation trophy generation. You and I have talked about this. You and I have talked about this. I have made points of this with my principal, with my vice principal. I do not like when they're like 3 and 4.
That's what I mean. When they're little,
different because you're getting them interested.
Yeah, that's sweet.
You're getting them interested.
I'm like, look, they're so excited. They get their first trophy. They want to do it again the next year. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, little Tommy's got an arm.
Right.
You know? Or like little Sarah can fucking throw that ball.
So
yeah, my little Sarah can throw. She can definitely throw that thing.
When we do awards for the marking period, each marking period, I've got teachers that I work with who give out 30, 40, 50 awards a marking period. I give out 2 per class. And they go, well, how do you decide? I look at the grades. The top 2 scores get an award. Because then if you're getting something from me, it means something.
Right, but also I do want to say that like we always tell our kids like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
True.
And
they'll get their other
right.
things.
But there are kids that sometimes it does matter. Effort matters.
It does.
Maybe they don't have the highest grade in the class, but they've worked the fucking hardest over everybody else.
In my class,
that shit matters.
I have a policy where even if you bomb every single assignment, every single test, every single quiz, if you turn in and do every assignment in a marking period, the lowest grade I'm going to give you is a 75.
That's fair. I mean, but think about what.
Because at least you tried. You made the effort.
Right. So the technical application of school is supposed to get people ready for real world life, right? That's the technical application of school life.
That's it. Now it's not what it has ever been.
No,
but that's what it's supposed to be.
Nowadays, it's let's work you very, very, very hard and expect you to continue to work, but not pay you for the work that you're doing, which is far exceeds the stuff that you're doing.
Exactly. So let's just do this. Let's take this little walk. So we're talking about Castellanos. Like people are talking about Castellanos, Nick Castellanos or whatever in the comment that Max puts up. All right. And it's, come on, man, that's a stupid question when he's asked about the booze. But
which now time out. Let me just say,
hold on. Did I miss what happened?
So Jim Salisbury, who is an actual good reporter.
Yes.
Right? He's not one of these like 94-1, 97.5 Joe Schmo guys.
No, Joe Schmo.
He is an actual reporter. And he said, hey, when you struck out and you've been struggling, did you hear the booze? And how did you feel? Because Castellanos chose to come here with a big contract this offseason. And rather than answering the question, Castellanos gets into an argument with a reporter who's doing his job and saying, come on, man, that's a stupid question.
Well, because he's saying, yeah, I heard it. Without answering the question.
No.
That's turning and saying, how dare you ask me that question?
That's a
that's not how I took it, though.
Because look at when Alec Boehm got called out for I fucking hate this place. He owned up to it. He's like, you know what? I was pissing myself. I was mad at myself. And then, you know
that's a T-shirt now.
Right. He goes,
I love everybody.
He goes, I fucked up. I was mad at myself. They were right to boo me. And what happens the next night?
Yep. Joel Embiid had to learn that as well. And now he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I got to play harder for them, which is what Philadelphia is actually about.
But
once you take away.
We don't have to look far here. Taylor, come with me for a minute. Close your eyes.
Yes.
Bryce Harper in 2019 was asked about the booze, right? And he says, I would do the same thing. It's not fun to lose. All right. That's why
I would boo.
Right.
Yeah. That's why that guy's the MVP. And he makes a crap ton of money. And he's like one of the faces of the MLB. And that other guy could possibly just disappear in a couple years. Like, let's just be real. Like, let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're raising now men who now get to take, who get mad at people who are paid to ask questions about asking questions. Like,
and what's the narrative really going to be? The Philly sports media is mean. In this situation, the Philly sports media was doing their job.
That's like me asking my kid if they brought home a test that was like not their best grade and being like, "Who did you study?" And then being like offended that I even asked that question. Of course I did.
Would you ask little Johnny that question? Like Doc Rivers says, would you like when Doc Rivers tells the reporter,
would you ask Popovich that question? At some point, like you are going to pay millions of dollars, and this kind of
did somebody say that? Would you ask?
So Doc Rivers got asked a question, these months ago when they were struggling. He gets asked a question.
It was about him giving up a huge lead, and they said, yes. Would you have taken Joel out or whatever, or whoever it was that got hurt? Would you
have done something differently? Would you? All right.
Would you ask Popovich that? No, because Popovich wouldn't get dubbed like that. Like that's why Popovich wouldn't.
Right. His response instead of answering the question was, "Well, Greg Popovich, would you ask Greg Popovich? You are not Greg Popovich."
Well, but also he would have figured it out first. And if he didn't, he would answer the question.
Yeah, I screwed up.
He'd be like, I, you know what? I really thought I had something. I didn't, and there you go. I thought we could do it.
They're floating the Jalen Reagor trade request. We can float it all we want. Nobody's taking them. It's just
listen. You got enough trouble. Y'all need to shh about the Eagles right now.
This is from last week with J-Jaw.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, let's just throw it out there. I don't have no beef with J-Jaw no more. Me and him good. We didn't talk about it. We didn't kumbaya. Like he a tight end now. I gotta give.
We did a whole 45-minute show.
I know, and I
ran him under the bus.
I was on the other side of this table, jumping up and down, saying things and texting him because I didn't want to get involved. But I was like, first of all, good for him. Like if you've got a problem or you think something's funny or you want to comment, just call him up.
No, what he did was he had a problem, and rather than I'll solve it, he went around and tried to come back at the people who were saying these things. Go fix it. I'll shut up as soon as you fix it.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is I appreciate
J-Jaw was respectful though. He was
that
respectful.
he did that.
Correct.
I love it. I love it so much.
He wasn't like Reagor who sends his daddy out on social media.
And for the record, as Chip will tell you, I am confident that this year that move is the right move for him. I think that move plus the pressure that he's being put under is gonna make a diamond. I'm hoping.
Okay.
Listen, he can be nice to me. I'm the nice one.
You are the nice one. All right, so let's just do this for a second. Let's look at the Eagles real quick. We've been wanting to talk about it possibly. Jalen Hurts catches a lot more grief than Jalen Reagor. I can assure you
that is very true.
The things that they have said about Jalen Hurts actually.
I love that man. Wow. Look at that man. Look at him. Look at that man.
I don't like his hoop earring. It reminds me of Michael Jordan, but
I love
the fact that this dude is one of the most disrespected professional athletes, starting quarterbacks that I've seen in a while.
Yep.
Really bothers me. And I've said this on many shows because the fact that they try to insult his intelligence is my biggest issue.
I know.
For a very long time, even going back to Randall Cunningham, they've always disrespected black quarterbacks and saying that they can't read defenses. That is absolutely
you can go with Randall Cunningham. You can go with Jalen Hurts. Look at Kyler Murray's new contract. There's a study clause.
Yeah, and let's just
it all ties into, if you remember, many years ago with Donovan McNabb and Rush Limbaugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like at some point, you have to stop the narrative that black quarterbacks are not as intelligent as white quarterbacks.
And it has nothing to do with that. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If we can be real here, I feel like this is a safe place.
It is. You know that.
There's a stereotypical thing in sports that has something to do with race. It's unfortunate that it's that way, but it is. Like there's not enough black players in the MLB, and a lot of them, when they do make it, they don't actually make it. They make it to like the minors, and they won't, but sometimes they don't get moved up. In basketball, the NBA is like 75% African American and foreigners now. There's very little white guys that really, like American white guys, that make it. So when we get to the NFL, it's one of the more continuity places because there's more white quarterbacks and white offensive linemen, but the more of the skill positions, the faster positions are black guys, unfortunately, with the exception of like Cooper Kupp and maybe like Hunter Renfrow, McCaffrey. But that's what I'm saying. So like to say that there's not a racial undertone on some of this stuff is absolutely ridiculous. It just is. Like, unfortunately, we're just there, but we got to call a spade a spade.
So Max really loved our Kaepernick conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Loved it. And he said, if Cap was white, do you think it would have been blackballed? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely not.
Not even
also,
close.
Though,
go ahead.
I have so much to unpack with this man.
Who,
so
Cap?
much to unpack.
Or
yes.
Jalen? Yeah,
no,
Cap,
not Jalen. Cap.
Cap.
Because I think that I don't at all have a problem with anything that he did. Because, like, okay.
He did it ahead of schedule.
He did, but and then you hear like, well, he was raised by white parents and blah blah blah. Like, okay, so he got opportunities that he wouldn't have had he not been.
What a monster!
How dare he? So he's somebody that can say, hey, you know what? From my experience, I was fortunate, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just raising an issue, raising attention to something. The things that happened afterward, maybe not his best foot forward for some things. What didn't he have a tryout with San Francisco or something? And then
San Francisco got rid of him. He had a tryout with a couple of teams, and none of the teams.
But
really...
somebody wanted him, but they didn't want him as a first string, and he was pissed about that because he felt like he deserved more than that. And he may have. Just me. I don't think that he's like the greatest quarterback in the world.
He's not.
But he's better than some of the shit that we have out there right now.
And
hold on. No, he's
that is
not.
my thought. Let's go, T. Let's talk about it, T.
5 years ago, Kaepernick was. Somebody who's been out of the league for 5 years is not at the same level of course. Like,
I'm not talking about right this second, but I'm talking about then too.
Right, I agree. Then he should have gotten a chance. We're now 5-6 years removed. He's been out of the league longer than he was even in the league. At this point, I hate to put it this way, but I'm taking Josh Rosen as a backup over Colin Kaepernick because Josh Rosen has at least been in the league for the last 6 years.
Yeah, but it's not Colin Kaepernick's fault that he hasn't been in the league.
You're right, but it's still the situation. We just spent 25 minutes talking about, you know what, you can't transfer teams and you can't do this. He had an opportunity when he was in San Francisco to continue playing the game, and he chose not to.
That's what
they offered him a contract. He said no. And then he's going to cry boo-hoo that nobody offered him a deal because he got blackballed. Absolutely.
Right.
But now 6 years later, he can't still be butthurt that nobody wants to give a guy who's 6 years removed from the NFL. That's like going to the Canadian Football League, finding a guy who retired 10 years ago and being like, hey, we want to sign you to our team. He's not at the same level as the backups in the league now.
For sure. I'm not saying that. That was like
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go first.
That was a whole rigmarole of situation that I was not talking about.
There's a lot of emotion.
I was talking about then.
Then agreed.
Okay. Now I know he's been like working out and stuff like that, and they said he's doing well, but I agree. He's not in training camp, whatever, conditioning and stuff like that. Again, totally agreed. I just think that what's his name is in this league right now. Aaron Rodgers is in this league. That guy from the Bills who I hate. What's his name?
Josh Allen.
No.
Oh,
just in general.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley. Is it all the shit that these people talk and nothing happens to them? However, somebody with more melanin in their body can say the same thing and get longer, like more severe punishments, more money they owe. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
All right, can I jump in here real quick? So there's a couple things I need to point out. Colin Kaepernick was raised by a white family, but he's biracial, so so that's kind of half and half. It could have been either side that took him. People don't realize, like, when you are really light skinned, you're kind of in that weird spot. So you're not really sometimes black enough, and sometimes you're not white enough.
Correct.
So
exactly.
He had a better vantage point than most people anyway. I just don't know if Colin Kaepernick was the person that should have stepped up. It's just he just didn't have the right platform, and he didn't have enough notoriety where it matters.
Correct.
Malcolm Jenkins has been doing it right, man, this whole time. That man.
Right. Right. So, like a guy like Malcolm Jenkins is in the background. He kind of had to step away when some of the stuff started going left, but he stayed kind of consistent with what he did. So let's say this is a player. Let's say instead of it being Colin Kaepernick, it is Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So let's say it's Russell Wilson who's now kneeling. He's already people think very he wouldn't, but let's say but he's.
But even if he did,
I hate to put it even this way because I hear exactly what you're saying.
They don't even show it on television.
If Colin Kaepernick had won that Super Bowl,
very different.
He would have been the right person for it.
Yes,
but that's so ridiculous.
It's not though. The proof is in the you need those elite guys to set the tone.
I know. I'm saying like it's ridiculous that you need somebody like that to
a leader with no followers.
A player,
just a guy taking a walk.
So
that's what Kaepernick was.
So we're gonna move to what Tila is talking about when she's saying the backlash and stuff about a lot of this stuff. So as a black man, like a black man in America, unfortunately, until people see like the oppression of another person and it matters to them, like for example, like I have a lot of white friends. We got like white homeboys I hang out with, and I always put in their perspective when we talk about police brutality and all this stuff. Imagine if it was me. I'm at a routine traffic stop and I am killed. You guys know I don't bother anybody. I'm not, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm not I'm a pretty law-abiding citizen for the most part. So if something happens to me, my friends would I said, don't be in the streets protesting for me. Be in the streets protesting for everybody. Like if there was a white guy that was killed in the streets by somebody, regardless if it was police or not, I'm mad about it. Like I'm pissed. Like nobody should leave a routine traffic stop in a pine box, unfortunately, or a body bag. It's if you can't arrest the person at the time, go serve a warrant. Like they serve warrants every day. My dad did it for 30 years. Like if you can't get the guy now, you have his license, you know where he's going. Sometimes you can even impound his damn car. Like just take him to jail. Like
I just think the rules should be consistent no matter what they are across the board. No matter what. I mean, and especially in the NFL. The NFL, you can beat your wife and play on Sunday.
You know what? You're hitting the heart.
Listen, you are right, but we are approaching 2 hours, and that is a whole nother Pandora.
I know. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's not
crimes
that's not right.
Not okay. Crimes against women are barbaric. I'm telling you, they're barbaric. Like these guys
agreed. But remember, these guys are warriors. They're barbarians.
Anyway, the point of the story is that to circle it all the way back around, Jalen Hurts has been getting a lot of backlash as a quarterback, which is unfair. And if I see on WIP or everything else, every single week on Twitter, without fail, it's like they're gotcha thing.
He's our quarterback. Just let it go.
Should the Eagles draft a quarterback? Would Carson Wentz be better? Would McNabb ever let this go? Like, shut up. He is
favorite thing I saw this week.
Suck it up and move on. Pick a new topic.
My favorite thing that I saw this week is there was a video from like an OTA, and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are doing this handshake.
I love him.
And Nick Sirianni goes to give I think it was AJ Brown the same handshake, and he didn't know it. Or Jalen Hurts went to give AJ Brown the handshake. And Nick Sirianni has a microphone and he says, the only people who know this are me, my son, and Jalen. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of this football team, as long as Nick Sirianni is the coach of this football team.
Like, let's be real.
End. Full stop.
I'm excited. I'm sorry, but if you're letting people progress and grow and do all that kind of stuff, like, they can progress and grow. He's progressing and growing. Look at what he came into. Like, come on. I'm excited for this season. I think the season's going to be a good one.
The dude gets his hips around now. That's what they complained. Last year they complained he doesn't get his hips square. His hips have been square. He's been hitting guys on the money. AJ Brown, your new wide receiver, is telling you to lay off this guy. Like, literally. Like, let's let the guy play a couple games first. You guys let Carson Wentz run amok for like 2 or 3 years.
And he didn't even win us the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that. But you know what I love to hear? Oh, but he got us so far, and then Nick Foles took it home. Like, shut up.
JD.
What?
JD. What? Remember how often we tried to run McNabb out of town, and he was elite. He is the best quarterback to ever play the franchise.
Yeah.
Except when he did shit the bed.
Sure,
Super Bowl.
but there is
not
been
a good look for him.
But there is no quarterback that has ever played in Philadelphia that has ever been better.
The day before.
There is no quarterback that has ever been better in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform.
Donovan McNabb's
blank.
amazing.
Period. So let's call it like it is. Let's call a spade, as you
and
always say.
And Jalen Hurts runs. He is athletic as fuck. People can say what they want to say about Michael Vick, and I agree. Huge piece of shit. But as an athlete, he is an athlete.
Piece of shit, though.
Piece of shit.
But
as an
he
athlete,
served his time.
Yes, he did.
And the point.
Right. I still don't have to like him, but I'm not saying
I'm not going to have him dog
sit.
Whatever. I'm not going to have him dog sit.
Ow. What I'm saying is he's an athlete, an elite an athlete. He wasn't the best with his arm wasn't the best, but he could run.
We are live. You just abuse.
All I'm saying is you're right, Tila. You're right. Tila, you're right about him possibly having some character issues.
I love an athlete. Like, bring it on.
Why would you not want to be
Jalen Hurts doesn't have character issues.
No.
He is a great leader. He's a better leader than McNabb ever was. He's a better leader than Vic ever was. Now the athleticism is coming. Those are things that you
What
can
about Garcia? Was he
Shut your mouth.
Is that butt fumble?
No, that's Sanchez. Mark Sanchez.
I always mess them up.
Because they were both whatever they were.
No, Garcia had red hair. You can't miss him.
It's the reason why Jalen Hurts will not be accepted in this town is the same reason why the Flyers aren't going anywhere.
Oh,
and that's all I'm going to say.
Is it because of the fans in Philadelphia? I don't know.
I'm saying sometimes it's just the right thing to do.
Jalen Hurts is the best.
That's been the show.
Guys, we had a plan of going an hour and 5 minutes.
I told you.
An hour and 52 minutes later and some incredible comments. We are going to wrap this. Thank you to all for tuning in.
Wait, you're going to tell them about the thing?
We already did it first thing.
For the Eagles?
Yeah, don't forget the link. Yeah, we did it. Don't forget the link is all over all of our social medias. Buy tickets. We're going to hang out at the Commander Tower, whatever it's called.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say something really quick. Did you guys talk about the helmets? The black helmets?
No, we didn't. We didn't
get a chance.
I
had a whole.
Hold on. I just want to say this because I posted it on Twitter.
I had a list. We didn't do these things.
If anybody noticed, but the logo is the old one, not the new one.
Yeah, we know that. They weren't changing that shit.
I'm saying like because remember they put it out there and everybody was like, "Fuck no," and they should have and could have put it right there on the helmet where it goes, but they didn't. Are they made by Oakley? Is that why there's the eyes?
No, Oakley is for the visor.
Okay, because it looks like where the eyes go, but they're bulging, so it like freaks me out. But those helmets are sick. Anyway, the point is
real quick before we go on there. First of all, if you guys commented tonight, it was over like 100 comments.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
It was amazing, you guys. Adam, Max, Omnipatient. I gotta keep going.
Ollie commented. Phil commented. Potter. I mean, the list was absurd. It was so good.
Oh, Potter was on here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, guys, you guys are absolutely amazing. We don't do this without you guys. You know, we're not able to have this show without your feedback. I know it's sometimes a pain in the butt to get on Facebook to watch it or go on YouTube to watch it, to make your comments. But thank you guys for what you guys do. This is the best part of my Monday. I'm not even gonna lie. Like getting to hang out with Chip and sometimes T. But we appreciate you guys.
Hey, Phil.
And Edward as well. And Edward and Christopher.
Yep.
Shout out to
you guys. It was great. This was look, we always like put up a list together and we're gonna do our show. But what ends up happening, and it's every single week, is we literally we spent a half an hour on the Union.
That's exciting.
Do you want to talk about things that were not on my planned list?
Also, I just want a quick reminder and shout out for me. Football season's coming up, guys.
Are you are you in a fantasy league? What's up? Talk to me.
Well, not that, but I more meant for my weekly commentary.
The weekly pickoff is coming back for season 2.
Lock and load, guys.
Why are we doing this?
Lock and load because they've got new helmets, new everything.
Don't say
New
it.
costumes.
I'm excited. They're costumes.
Why'd you say it?
Listen,
Yo, you want me to dog on the Commanders this year? Because I am.
can we be real about this real quick? Let me just throw this out there. Can I be a part of the pick off? Because I want to be able to put my picks in there before mine.
Yeah.
No, you are.
Stuff.
I'll send you. You'll get the spreadsheet too.
And I haven't said this online yet, but I can't wait for you to join us fantasy league. So I want to beat you very badly.
We're gonna throw down. I know.
Very
sometimes
badly.
I'm in the comments, but I'm here today.
Listen, very badly. I'm going to beat you.
Listen, if you're gonna do the impression,
Please don't. That's not allowed in this house. That's not no politics at all.
Little accordion. I brought up what's his name?
Anybody. I don't care.
Rush. I brought up Rush Limbaugh.
And we skirted right past that.
Skirt. I'm Chip. This is Mrs. That's Drew.
And I'm Drew.
Peace out. Go Birds. Okay.